So today we are in Parshat Ekev. We just came from the time of Tu B'Av. Tu B'Av said on Tu B'Av that there was no good days to Am Israel like 15 of Av and Yom Kippurim. And the few reasons given in the Gemara, one of them that the people that in the time of the desert was a decree that all the people of the generation of who came from Egypt will not enter to the land of Israel. And they died every year in 9 Av. They used to create their own grave, and they used to sleep in this grave. And in the morning, whomever wake up was going out, and some of them was remaining in the grave. And they usually they used to do it few days, 3 days walk from the place of the camp of Israel where they used to camp, because they didn't want to have impurity of death in the camp of Israel. So they used to have walking of distance of 3 days. And that in the last year, they have been seen that no one died. And when they came to know after 3 days walk and calculation and all this, it came a little bit more. It was 15 of Av. As they came to know that no one died. So the death of the desert has stopped. Why the decree was given? The decree given from the time when the Meraglim entered, the spies entered to Eretz Israel, and Am Israel started to cry for why Hashem took us out from Egypt. So Hashem promised that none of the generation that crying will not enter to the land of Israel, and only people who born after that time, they will enter to Israel. So as we said, in every year in 9th of Av, they knew it was a day that every year few people used to die until the entire generation changed. And then in 9th of Av, they used to create a grave, and they used to sleep in it, the people in the desert. And after the just a second, and after in the 15th of Av, in the last year of the desert, none of the people died, and then it started to become a good day. In the continuation, many good things happened in these days, and there used to be a day of marriage, day of engagements, a day of celebration. And this is totally opposite to something which was marked only a few days before, 6 days before, 9th of Av, which is a day of mourning, day of sadness. And obviously, the Rebbe teaches us there is a big connection between these 2 days. That the day which is it's called the most sad day, and the day of the 15th of Av, which called, there is no good days like that, happy occasions to Am Israel, to Tu B'Av and Yom Kippurim. Yom Kippurim, we can understand why. It's a good day because it's a day of atonement. Hashem forgives to all our sins. We're wearing white clothes like angels, which means we become pure. But Tu B'Av, what is so great about it? 15th of Av. And the Rebbe taught us, we know that also that in 15th, all the festivals of Am Israel, most of them, the important festivals, celebrate on 15th of the month. We see Sukkot in 15th of the month. We see Pesach, it's in the 15th of the month. We have Purim also as well. It's in Yudalet, in the middle of the month. And the reason is why it's in the middle of the month. Not all the festival, but the main festivals which we're talking about, Sukkot and Pesach, they are also in the 15th of the month. Why 15th of the month? Because in 15th of the month, the moon kaima sihara be'ashlemuta, which means the moon stands in a full shape. The Jewish month, starting in the beginning, in the Aleph of the month, in the first day of the month, the moon has not seen that time. It's the time of the moon burn, like nolad. It just burned, and every day it's increased is light, and then it's reached to the 15th, and for the 15th it's getting getting less. The moon of the light become less. The light of the moon become less. Now, how it's happened physically? We know how it's happened. It's about the shape where the moon is situated to reflect the light of the sun. And it's obviously that the moon gets more light in the beginning of the month. Less light and little bit increased until it's reached to the middle of the month, which it stand face to face with the sun and receive a lot of light and can ray out and give ray of a lot of light with a full shape. And why we are concerned about this? We know that Am Israel compared by the Torah to the moon. Am Israel nimshal levana, which means we are also reflecting some light, receiving some light from the source of all the divinity, which is God himself. And we are supposed to give this ray out, to bring light, the darkness of this world. By the way that we get, because we have the way of Hashem, of Torah and mitzvot, we are also reflecting the way of God in the world. And it's also, Am Israel, it's also in a situation which he's receiving. In the beginning, he is nullified. He doesn't have light at all. The moon cannot bring light by itself. She's not shining by itself. It's getting all its light coming from the source of the light, which is the sun, which is the sun. And we see that Am Israel increase, getting little bit every time, getting more and more and more and more light. And there are times which is fully enlightened, and there are times which is decreased. And it's also going in routine, which means we also, once we achieved some light, then we go ahead, we nullify ourselves, we compare ourselves to nothingness in order to receive more light. To explain a little bit about this concept of how we are nullifying ourselves in order to receive more light and how this routine works, I will say some short story. Was one young guy that was in the yeshiva in Chabad in Tzfat, And he was a very knowledgeable guy, but he was a little bit full with himself. He felt that he knows a lot. One day, the Rav of the yeshiva, I think it was Rav, I forgot the name, I will say it in a second, it's just standing on my lips. Rav Shlomo Chaim. And he called Shlomo Chaim Kesselman, Rabbi Shlomo Chaim Kesselman. He called the same bochor, same young guy, and he comes, tell him, come sit with me to a tea. Okay. The Rav gave him a cup of tea, and he started to pour tea, and he poured more and more and more and more and more and more, and it started to overflow. The tea is hot, it started to fall on the leg of the bachur a little bit. Then he said, Rabbi, the cup is full, you cannot put more. I said, you are right, the cup is full, I cannot put. When there is a cup is full, there is no place to put more light. Same thing, we Am Israel, every time that we achieve something, we achieve some knowledge of God, we have to be again to come back to a situation which we again feeling empty, even though that already we purchased some divine light already, which is some Torah, some mitzvot, which already we do. Then we need to feel again empty in order to receive a new influence, a new light, a new knowledge, new understanding from God. And this is going also as routine. So all the time Am Yisrael is go, there is the work of us below, and there is the light which coming from God, and there is a combination between the two, and this is a circle. All the time which continue in routine. Now the month of Av, it's very interesting month. It's the 11 months of the year. 1 month before we are entering to the month of Elul, which is already the conclusion of the year. And it's starting a new year, and the preparation for a new year. It's actually most of the year already after us. It's a month which already we are not yet in conclusion, but we are in the end of the year. Conclusion of the year, it's in month of Elul. So by nature, in this month, we actually are in situation of getting ourselves ready for a new circle of life, which will start very soon in the month of Elul. Already we are starting the beginning of accepting the new year. Because already we know in month of Elul, we only think about the high holidays. We need to prepare ourselves to do tshuva, to create the situation of the holiday. But in physically also, we need to prepare the holidays. Already we're thinking about the new year. But in the month of Av, already this is the conclusion, it's the final month before we are entering to the mode of entering to the new circle, which means the time of emptiness. However, the Rebbe explained that from 15th of Av already, there is again 2 situations. In one situation, there is the beginning of the month, from the day 1 to day 15, which is the 15, we know that the moon is in full, and from 15, the moon getting decreased. Which means already from the 15th of Av, we are actually in the process of getting ourselves towards a new year, because we are right now, which means we remove the last light, we're starting to getting away from the maximum light of the last year. And we know that this month is difficult, it's the end of the year in one side, in another side, it's all the time. This month was a time of mourning, which means the light which coming through the knowledge of God that coming to this month, it's not an easy light. When I'm talking about light, we're talking about knowledge, about wisdom that's coming up. Again, the wisdom is very deep to understand what's going on with Ninth of Av. Why Ninth of Av is necessary to learn from it. And for us as a nation, it's a very important day. We learn what we're doing wrong, what we're doing right, and how to get ourselves in a better way. However, it's not an easy light to receive. It's light, it's a wisdom which actually connected much more with lacking, with absence of God. And then why we are feeling sorry that we are not having the Bet Mikdash, we're not having the presence of God in the world. So which means when we are talking about the light which getting full and going towards the new light that coming in the new year, this is something which supposed to be in compensation to the lacking feeling that we are felt in 9th of Av. Hence, the day of 15th of Av, it's actually a day which is revealed what is, how all the lacking and how all the bad feeling which we sensed from Tisha B'Av, it actually fall towards end in order to bring a much greater light which going to come in the after that. And this is the first reason why the 15th of Av it's such a great day, because to lack about compensation of something that when we have something which lacking, like we lacking the light of Bet Mikdash, lacking of light of Torah, this is a big lack that we have as a nation. However, the compensation for that, it's supposed to be much greater, because as much as the loss here, if you need to gain, the gain is much more needed in order to compensate the loss that we had. And hence the light of what is coming in Tisha B'Av, it's usually in 15th of Av, it's usually a greater light, much more than what we had before, which can justify it. And that's why the time of Bet HaMikdash, it used to be a day of celebration, a day of building a house, day of engagements. And day of engagements like that are considered the most powerful continuation, most powerful presence of God, that we are continue to build more Jewish houses, more Jewish families. And this is the main thing about 15th of Av. Now, to understand the connection to this week, Parashat Ekev. In Parashat Ekev, the Torah starts, Hashem said to Moshe, והיה עקב תשמעו את מצוותיי, ושמר השם לך את הברית ואת החסד. Then I will try to explain the pasuk. Once והיה, and therefore when, עקב, while, when, תשמעון, when you will hear this judgment of Torah, and you keep and you will do all this Torah, and Hashem will keep for you His promise, and He will keep the kindness which is swear to your fathers, and He will love you, ואהבך וברכך וירבך, and He will love you, and He will bless you, and He will multiply you. And He will multiply the fruit of yours, and continue with many blessings. Baruch tiyeh mikol ha'amim, you will be blessed from all the nation. Hashem will remove all the sickness from you, etc., etc. There is Rashi in the same place on the pasuk, v'haya ekev. Ekev in Hebrew have two ways to translate it. Once is Ekev. The Ekev is like in the feet, the bottom of the feet, the bottom of the leg. This is Ekev. And another way to explain Ekev, it's the word Ekev, it's and when you will do it, because you will do it. Because you will do it, Hashem will do. Vaya Ekev, because you will do it, and Hashem will do to you. So there is two ways, two meanings to the same word in Hebrew. In Hebrew, there are many words like that, that having two different, completely different meaning, but in the same way of writing and even pronouncing. And the Rebbe is explained, and however, the Rashi on the same pasuk connect between these two explanations. And he said, if you will do the light mitzvot, even the mitzvot הקלות, שאדם דש בעקביו, if you will do even the small mitzvot, the simple mitzvot, that person is said, dash ba'akavav, walking on them on his feet, which means if ignoring them, they look not important to him. If you will keep that, then Hashem will keep for you all the promise. And Ekev, also, it's the explanation of Vaya Ekev. It's not only to say that if, it said once you will do it, which means you will do it in the end. You will reach to this situation which you keeping the mitzvot in such way, in such importance. And this is the explanation that Rashi gives. The Rebbe gives wonderful discussion about these two explanations. And we'll see the connection to Tu B'Av. The Rebbe said that first of all, we need to remember that there is three lines actually, two lines and three lines which are connected to the work of a Jewish person in this world. There is the work, as we repeated it already a few times already. There is the one direction, which is the work of the person from here. The person needs to nullify himself and to be able and to want to keep the Torah and mitzvot. There is something which depends on him. And there is another direction, which is the influence from up. The wisdom of Torah and mitzvot that coming from above. And the connection with the godliness from above. And there is a third line, which is, we said it's two different lines, two different directions. But there is another one line which is a combination of both of them, which means the unity between the person who receives the knowledge and the divine light who entered to the person and in well acceptance. And this is the three lines which a person needs to go all his life, and especially to when we're talking about reaching to the wholeness which we're expecting Be'ezrat Hashem when Mashiach will come. The first Bet Mikdash, we know that was a totally divine from up to down. We said it already in the previous shiurim, that was many miracles in the first Bet Mikdash. That time was the Aaron, the Ark of Covenant was there, and the prevalence of godly presence was very strong. However, in the second Bet Mikdash, the Ark of Covenant was not there, and many miracles that was in the first Bet Mikdash was not there, and the presence of God in the second Bet Mikdash was again not so strong like it was in the first Bet Mikdash. And why is that? As we know that the first Bet Mikdash, it was revealance of God that starting with Moshe, with the Mishkan of Moshe, which moved by David until Shlomo HaMelech built it, but it was mainly one continuation from Mount Sinai of great revealance of God until Am Yisrael enter and conquer the land and build the Bet Mikdash. This was totally dependent on God. However, the second Bet Mikdash, once we went to the first Galut, the exile Am Yisrael was feeling, they went to Babylon. They felt extremely alone. And
Okay.
to Hashem. One second. And they're starting to pray to Hashem that they will be able to return, and then they receive the permission to go and build it, but by themselves. They came, of course, was a miracle intervention, but was not a miracle of great opening the sea again and fighting with Egypt. Was a miracle intervention, but it was mainly the work of the Jews by themselves to build this second temple. It was two different establishments. The first establishment is establishment of God. The second establishment was establishment of the people themselves. And they built the Bet Mikdash, the temple, by themselves. And the third Bet Mikdash, the Rebbe emphasized, is going to have the two qualities. One, it will be Mikdash that coming from Shamayim. And the second, it will be also connected with the work of Am Yisrael during the time of the exile. And then it will be a full unity, which the receiver and the person who accepts it, having both of them, the receiver and the influencer having both presence and partnership in this building. And this continue, after understanding this, we can understand again what is the meaning of Ekev and what is the meaning of us in Am Yisrael and how is it connected and all together. It's known also that Ekev, it's the lowest part of the body. It's the lowest part of the body. However, all the body stand on it. We know also that as with the generation through time of Am Yisrael, was neshamot that coming to the world, and the highest neshamot are compared to the neshamot of the beginning of the generation of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. They are compared to the head, and then during the generation, the neshamot reduced by its level. When we're talking about reduced by its level, of course, every neshama, it's part of God above in the same way, but in terms of understanding godliness, the first neshamot was having much more intense understanding of how God presented the world. And during the generation, the knowledge has become less and less. We got far away from the time of the era of the miracles, which was revealed, and until we reach to a situation that we are not seeing God in a very clear way. Actually, we see it through a very difficulty of understanding of God's ways. And because of that, every one of us, we are very, very far away from the level of the head. And hence, this generation, the last generations, are compared to the foot, to the Ekev. However, as we know, based on the foot, all the body can walk. And there are some work which is important for our generation, which is only the generation that can bring Mashiach. And the reason is, as we said before, in order to receive influence, you need to be in situation of emptiness to receive much greater influence that was not exist before. It's known that after Mashiach will come, and during that era of Mashiach will be a new neshamot chadashot, which means will be something which was not there before ever. Knowledge of God which never given light in the world, even in the time of our forefathers. It will be greater than that. And that's why Am Yisrael, everyone, I will put my spirit on everyone, on all the nation, and I will put my spirit on all of them, and every one of them will be a prophet like Moshe Rabbeinu. When we're talking about that, the first thing that we need to be in order to receive this light is to be able to understand that we are depend on something much greater, and we are empty with the knowledge of God. So during the time of Am Yisrael, during the exile, we actually lost a lot of our light, from our light. However, the principle of Am Yisrael is still there, the Torah and mitzvot, but by understanding, by the divine presence, to see godliness everywhere, we are not there. However, once we, as a nation, going towards receiving much greater light, then only the legs and the foot, which actually, if you compare the foot to the other organs, every one of the organs have a specialty. You can see the eye can see, and to accept knowledge, and the knowledge enter to the brain. The mouth can speak, the hand can write, and the leg cannot do much, can do only walk and lay, and we can lay on them. And but knowledge-wise, specific-wise, the heart can feel. Every one of the organs having special, unique way which connecting to some understanding of how the human think, which everything that we do is coming from the mind. If the head is not command the head to move, will not move. But every one of the organs it's a different vessel on how much light that coming, how much knowledge comes from the brain to the same organ. The hand, for example, is very gentle, can do very gentle things, which means it can accept a lot of light from the intellect, which is remain in the brain. However, the leg is not able to do very gentle things. It's able to walk, able to play football, we are able to lay, but not much. It's actually, if you compare it, you make an analogy, you say, it's like employee which getting command without any explanation. If you see the other organs, the heart can feel. The brain can affect the feeling, but everything that all the other organs having a different level, and as much as we go down, in the body, obviously the understanding is much less from what the God command, why the God command. However, the same brain which command on the leg to walk will not be able to reach to where he wants to reach without the leg. Even though the leg doesn't know where to go. Just she's getting, the leg is getting commands from the head. Still, this is, the leg is very crucial by moving from one step. Same thing in an analogy to the nation of Israel. In our generation, we have a great importance. In one side, yes, we are doing something, we are keeping the Torah in a great Mesirut Nefesh, which means we are in one side very much not understanding the Torah, like it was supposed to be, like it used to be in the beginning of all the Torah, when the Torah given. However, we are subordinate to it, and we're doing it as it is, and there is a great value. Because of our neshamot that accept the Torah as a recipient, as a receivers, and we're not having the other knowledge, we are able to lead the head to much new, a new area, which was not there before. And that's why our neshamot, in this neshamot, this world, which is, again, very low, very not, we are not have been, not in the level of the neshamot before. Actually, this neshamot able to receive the great light in much higher way. And this again connect to the parasha. The parasha tells us that once we will accept the Torah up to the feet, which means even the things which we don't understand, then Hashem will be able to live within us. Which means we are in a situation where we are receiving the Torah, we are recipient, and we are a proper vessel to hold the Torah in it. And then we obviously, all the fruits and all the promises of God to us to be always a source of life and a good and a nation which blessed from all the nation will be able to be exist in us, because we are also in receipt and not just we receiving it as an influence from above. Same thing like Tisha B'Av and like Tu B'Av. In Tu B'Av, again, with what we said, in Tu B'Av, actually, it's a time after we are lacked. We had a lot of, we lack a lot of light. We lose the Bet Mikdash. From there, we are moving to the most happy occasion of Tu B'Av, of building houses, making engagement, because of we able to receive it, that we can get, that we are lacking, and we are able to receive a new knowledge. And by this way of Am Yisrael working on Torah and mitzvot in Mesirut Nefesh, because if you don't understand something and you're doing it just because you got command, which means you actually surrender yourself to above, to higher authority. And this nation, as much as we don't understand and we're still doing the Torah, this is exactly the tool of Am Yisrael to receive Mashiach. I will end with a very nice story which I read about Mesirut Nefesh to receive Torah. It's known about the Tzemach Tzedek, Admor Tzemach Tzedek, the third Rabbi of Chabad. Third Rabbi of Chabad was a grandson of the first Rabbi, Admor HaZaken, and he was a young guy. And he was, when he was a boy of 9 years old, he wanted very much to hear the Torah of Hasidut, which is the secrets of Torah, which in the time of the Admor HaZaken, it was even what we called, it was almost to speak real Kabbalah in a very big way, and he wanted to hear the Torah. However, his grandfather was not ready to give him to enter to the room when he was talking on the Torah, talking about Hasidut. He was saying, you are too young, it's not for you. but the child wanted to listen very much. So what he did, he tried to find some solution. They had a chimney with an oven, and the kid was hiding in the oven below the chimney. And that's why he could hear the class of the Admor HaZaken. One time it became very cold, and the butler of the house entered to put some more wood, and he saw it's not entering properly. So he put whatever he put, and he started to put fire. And then they think that the fire is not getting properly up. They check and they saw a kid there. The kid was already fainted. That was a Tzemach Tzedek. And the mother of the Tzemach Tzedek they tried to wake him up, tried to hit him, to pour him in water. They did not succeed to wake him up. Then the father, they called to Admor HaZaken, they called to the Baal Atanya, the first Rebbe of Chabad, and they told him, see what happened. Menachem Mendel, this was the name of the Tzemach Tzedek. See what happened. So he put the hand on him, and immediately he woke up. It took him 2 weeks to recover fully, but then he recovered fully. But before that, when he woke up, the mother or the grandmother of Tzemach Tzedek was fighting with Admor HaZaken. He said, why are you not letting him to enter to the shiur? What do you see what's happened to him? He said, yeah, Torah needed a self-sacrifice. If someone really wants to give up on his comfort, this is the way that he will become. The Torah will be able to sit and to be, and the Torah will find a good vessel in it. And this is why he will be a great rabbi. And really, Admor Tzemach Tzedek grew up to be one of the greatest rabbis of all the times. And this is also to tell us what we are. And this is all connected to one thing, that we, through our work now, in the time of the Galut, that we not understand, and we still having the self-sacrifice to stand in front of everyone that tells us, what the hell you doing? It's very different, very difficult to understand rules, but still we are doing the Torah and mitzvot. This is the vessel of receiving the great light, Be'ezrat Hashem, during the time of Mashiach. And it will be so great. The Rebbe is saying this Sikha, is ending the Sikha with very interesting words. ולהעיר, and to make a note, שאז בזמן הגאולה, that in the time of the redemption, לא יצטרכו, they will not need also the letters of the writing, which means they will not need the Torah, which written in the books. Because the Torah will lay with them, Hashem will speak in themselves in a clear voice, which means they will know what is right, what is wrong. They will be so much united in God that it will be clear for them what is the halacha in every subject of the Torah. In every subject of the Torah, it will be very clear for them where we are, what is the wish of God, because the voice of Hashem will be so much united with us. And this is Be'ezrat Hashem. We are waiting to see B'mera B'yameinu. Amen. Thank you very much for participating. Thank you very much.
תודה רבה.
תודה.